Okay, okay. Nice to meet you all here. I'm J.K. Wu. I come from Beijing, China, Intel Open Source Technology Center. I'm the engineering manager of Tizen SDK inside Intel. So it's very nice to meet all developers here. And today, I will have a session to introduce the Tizen SDK minimum web development tools. So the agenda is very pretty straightforward. One, I want to introduce a little bit about the current Tizen Web SDK, and then I will go deep into the Tizen minimum web development tools, and I'll show a demo to how to use those tools to build Tizen web applications. Okay, Tizen Web SDK. Actually, you can download it directly from the Tizen.org. So after you install it, you will see it is actually a Eclipse-based SDK. Here is a Here is a snapshot of the IDE. So it has the project explorer and the code editor. So and you also provide the emulator. It's a QEMU-based virtual machine, and Tizen running on top of this emulator. It also provided a web simulator. This web simulator supports Tizen device API, so you can run your Tizen web applications directly on top of this web simulator. So basically, this is a very high-level overview of this web SDK, but it has much rich features. So let's quickly go through the Tizen web application development process. It's also very straightforward. You just create an application project inside the Eclipse, and then you need to modify the application widget configuration. After that, you just doing the design, the UI, and the coding, and build, and run the test. And eventually, you need to package it into the Tizen widget, and you can run it on top of the Tizen device, or submit it to the App Store. So to address this process, actually the web-based SDK, the Tizen Web SDK, has a set of tools to support each phase of this process. For to create an application project, it provides a project wizard, and also many Tizen web application templates, so to help developer to create a new Tizen web application project. And for the Tizen web application widget configuration, it provides a GUI-based configuration editor. You are using it to change some configuration in the config.xml, because there are some Tizen-specific configuration items. So use this GUI-based configuration editor. You are easy to change it. And you also provide the web GUI Builder, which you can drag and drop to design your UI. And also the code editor support the Tizen Web API auto-completion, syntax highlighting, those features. Build has been integrated into the IDE. You just trigger the build by directly click the context menu. And also for run and debug, as I said, there are Tizen emulator and Tizen Web Simulator. And it also supports the web remote debugging inside the Eclipse. So you can debug your application directly from the Eclipse IDE. And the packaging also integrated into the IDE. So you just run your package and create a package from the IDE. So all the development works can be done in one place in the Tizen Web SDK. So it's a comprehensive set of tools which is the best for the Tizen web application development. So I highly recommend everyone want to do the Tizen web application development, you can download it. But this session is different. It's just want to address some other kind of issue. Because Tizen web application is also HTML5 web application. So there are HTML5, the major advantage is cross-platform. So there are many development tools to support HTML5 development. And many web developers come to Tizen with pre-existing HTML5 development tools preferences. So do they have to use the Tizen SDK, the Eclipse-based IDE, to develop the Tizen web applications? The answer definitely is no, because the Tizen SDK actually addresses those issues for you. So that's the main purpose of the Tizen SDK minimum web development tools. It provides a minimum set of tools to create the Tizen web applications. So the developer can choose their preferred tools and still be able to create the Tizen web applications. And those tools also can help the application test, build, release automation, because most tools are command line based and easy to install and has a very small footprint. It's less than 60 megabytes. Comparing the whole Tizen SDK installation is maybe about 2 gigabytes. So it can also be a backend to integrate it into any other HTML5 development tools to support Tizen. So we already have some customers to asking these tools to integrate as their backend. They provide the authoring tools, design tools, like code editor, but they use these tools as a backend to create the Tizen web application. So I will go into the details of these tools. It actually includes 5 components and Tizen web application templates. It can help the developer to create a new project and to understand what the Tizen web application project looks like. I also provide the Tizen SDK command line interface and a certificate generator, smart development bridge as SDB, and the Tizen Web Simulator. So the last one, the online Tizen documentation, is very important, because if you install the minimum tools, you will not install the Eclipse IDE, you will not install the offline document. So you can install it, but you can also just use the online documentation. So that's very important, because you do not have the rich features specific for the Tizen, inside the Eclipse. So if you use other tools, you need to understand the code. Every line of the code, you need to understand it. So how to install it? It's very straightforward. You just download the SDK installer. You can just select the minimum option during the installation. There are actually two checkboxes. It's the web app tools and the native app tools. But this session, I will only focus on the web app tools. So it will include the command line tools and the web simulator. For the native part, I think for the web app, maybe these minimum tools are very more important. Yeah, because native part, you always maybe need some IDE or Eclipse. And in the right side, you see that's an installed result. So you can see there are a bunch of the bench file here. Because I just capture it on the Windows, so it's batch file. On Linux and Mac, there are also same script file there. So this command is a major command for this. It's called Web Tizen. So Web SDK command line interface. The Web Tizen is a wrapper of the following tools. So it can cover the WebGen, the generate widget project, and also the packaging to help the package widgets and Xenium widgets, install, uninstall, and the web list. The web list is to show what application has been installed on the target device. So web run is to run it. Web debug, it can open the remote debug port. You can do in the remote debug. So to generate a new project, the Tizen Web application projects, actually there's another command called web templates. The web templates is trying to utilize the templates provided by the minimum tools. So you can search the Tizen templates, and you can create a new project based on the templates. And also you can use the web Tizen method G option to just create a basic Tizen projects. So the below chart screenshot is a file hierarchy generated from this project. You see, they're very simple. It's just a config.xml. It's just like normal web application. So, but I want to introduce more about is config.xml. So this snapshot is config.xml generated from these tools by default. It's very simple. So you will see some Tizen specific tags. The Tizen application ID equals something something, right? Package equals something. The package equals something. That's a package ID. Now the application ID is a package ID dot. You need to add another string. Those strings are generated by the tools, but you can also specify a string you want. And the required version is 2.1. And also for this example, it provides a Tizen privilege, so it will configure which API you can call from your application. And for this URL, I would recommend the people to read this. It's very important because this detailed description of the Tizen specific features provided in the config.xml. And most likely you will use it because you need to specify this config, change this config.xml to configure your application. But inside the Eclipse IDE, you have a GUI-based configuration editor. That's much easier for you to configure it. You just you can see you can find every configuration there directly. For example, we see the Tizen. These are Tizen specific configurations. So if you have Eclipse, you will get this GUI. So it's very easy to understand it and configure it. But if you do not want to use that, I think it's better to understand this table, every items. Okay. So let's go back. This is configure .xml, and then the tools is very straightforward. I just skip the editing, the code editing, those stuff, because you will use any tools you like. You will use VI, Emacs, TextMate, or any other kind of editor to do your web development. And you can also use any other kind of UI GUI designer, like animation design, CSS editor. You can choose whatever you want. And eventually, you need to these steps to create the Tizen web application package. So in the designing and the packaging, and you need to install it on a real device to have a try, and uninstall it maybe. Then you will want to debug, the remote debug. So you can launch the application and open the debug port, and then you can open the Chrome DB tool to remote debug your application, which is running on the device. So this command line interface introduction. Then is the next component is a certificate generator. You need this to generate the developer certificate to design your web application. Actually, this step also needs to be done with the whole web SDK. you always need to use this tool to generate a certificate. Yeah. So this URL is point to a document to tell you how to do that. But I will show a demo with that. It's very simple. And then, when you get the certificate, you need to configure it. So here is a default file to configure this certificate. So it's a profiles.xml under this tools IDE conf this folder. So you need to configure your certificate inside this file. And then those tools and also the IDE will use this file to do the running. OK, so the next component is Tizen SDK Smart Development Bridge, is SDB. So the SDB is a device management tool included in the Tizen SDK. It's very similar with the Android ADB, so I will not spend more time on this. I think most people are very familiar with it. So the Tizen Web Simulator is a lightweight tool of developing mobile web applications. And it has a Tizen Web API simulation for Tizen 2.1. And it's running on top of the Chrome. And also, you can open the Chrome DB tool to debug this application. I gave a link. The link is zero1.org. The Web Simulator hosts the project. But I think we will put more effort on the Tizen part, because the Tizen will be open on the Tizen.org. There will be a Web Simulator specific for the Tizen. This 01.org Web Simulator actually supports other platforms. This Web Simulator is based on the REPL UI, so you may know that before. So I can basically that's all for the materials I want to talk. And I can show some demos about these tools. So firstly, I can open the Web Simulator to see what kinds of features it provides. So Web Simulator, I open it. You can just open it. I can close it again, like. You can open it from your installed Tizen SDK. Tizen Web Simulator. Yeah. So here is an example. Is a compass. So if you look at this one, actually it can generate some events, so the application can receive it and respond. And it also provides some other kind of features. I think actually last year there was a session talking about the Web Simulator, so I will not spend too much time on this. OK, so then I will show the demo how to use the client command line interface. So I'm not sure you can see the screen. So firstly, I need to generate a certificate. So we can it's just input some information, and then you can get this. Yeah. OK, you need a password for the certificate. OK. The file name. It uses P12 as an extension name. Then it's done. So you get a certificate generated. Then you need to configure it. By default, after you install the minimum Web SDK, you actually get such kind of profile XML. So it's actually empty. So you need to copy something. I actually made a copy. So you need to change it like this. And change this, yeah, this certificate has been configured there. So you just save it. And you can see the CA. The CA actually is installed in the certificates generator folder. So yeah, you can find it here, the developer CA and the distributor CA. So that's done for the certificate. And then we can create projects. We can okay, this is an empty folder. So we're trying to create a project from the Tizen templates. So you can list the templates here. So you create a templates. Maybe we can use this first one, the Web UI framework, multi-page template. It will help to generate this project under this folder. Okay, you need to provide some description. Okay, theme. You can do it that way, but if you already have a web application, you can just copy your web application into this folder, but make sure you have your correct config.xml file and okay, give a name. Okay, it's done. So if we go back to the folder, you can find this it just creates a common web project here. So it's no other files. It's just a web UI framework folder and a sample config XML, index HTML. You can try it. You can try it directly in the web simulator first to see what will happen. So you got this application running on top of this web simulator. Basically, you can change the code using any tools you want. I will not show that part. So I will start to package it. So because we have configured the certificate profiles, so let's come back to see this. Here is the name. The profile is the name. Name is develop. So you need to use this name to design your widget. So this is to design the widget. Because it's not an Eclipse project, so it will ask some, you just continue and give the password. Okay. Actually, this project has been designed with your certificate. You will see this file here, and if you open it, you can say, okay, the signature has been done using the certificate. And if you're doing this the first time, you will find your profile XML will be changed to be like this. Yeah, you also add the password there. So next time you're doing the designing, it will not ask your password again. So we basically get this widget then. So we can create the package now. We come upper level, create a package. We give a name, com.wgt. Just a one-line command. It just it then can create a widget for you. Then we are trying to deploy this widget to the real device. I have a Samsung phone here. actually is it will be the developer form, but we have, because we are Intel, we have that to show to you guys. Okay. Yeah. So let's install it. Yeah, we call this command. Okay. You can come back. Yeah. Okay. Then okay, it's installed. The third one and Tizen conf. So you will get the same application running on top of this real device, Tizen device. Actually, the connection is using the SDB, just like I mentioned. So maybe we want to debug it. So we'll try to debug this application. But for the this command line tool, it has to be relaunch this application. We can come back to the okay. So if you want to debug it, you need to know some information. So we can list this information for this application. Here, this list is all the applications installed on your target device. So you can see the last one is the one I just installed. So we need to debug this one. Debug this application. I think the first time it will be failed because the application has been launched. So it should be launched by this debug. So I did run it again. If you close that application on this phone, and it will launch it directly and open the debug port. Okay, so you get this URL, right? This URL can use it directly by the Chrome DB tool to debug this application. So let's open Chrome. Okay, I got it. And then you can start the debugging those stuff. This is a Chrome DB tool. Yeah. Yeah. So I think basically with this this kind of tools, you can say in this demo, I did not use anything from the the IDE. You can use any editor or use other tools to develop your web application, and eventually use these command line tools to create your Tizen web application. So okay. So actually, I did not mention the next step. The next, there are some companies is asking to integrate these command tools into their backend. So that will be more useful because many developers have their own choice. Some guys use the Adobe tools, some guys using the Snapshot, some guys using but eventually they can have the source code, and the backend, just like this morning, Mark said, Snapshot and app accelerator just support Tizen. I think, yeah. So you can make your web applications with any tools you like, and package it, and design it, and maybe submit to the app store. So that's what I want to talk today. So any question? Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay, so say you use the web to develop, say, a UI for your app, but you already have some native code, C or C++, that you want to just deploy. But to bring it to Tizen, you could just use the web to deploy the top layer, the UI. and still keep our native code and have that run on Tizen?
Oh, you are asking, how the Tizen support native code, or?
Well, if you're developing with like the web, could
Yeah.
you call into native from the web?
Currently, I don't think so. You have the choice to use maybe MP API, but that's not recommended. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You can use the Tizen Web API. It's your most features from the platform, I think. But
Well, you were saying a lot of the other companies here, they offer backends, but those are web backends. What if you already have your own backend that's, say, written in C++ or C, and you just want the web APIs to call into your native C code?
Called native C code, you mean the native application, or?
So say you have two layers, like a cake. On top, you have the web.
Yes.
Like you just showed the demo where you press the button. And below that, you have some C code that you'd like to call. Does Tizen, is that supported?
Yeah, it is. The music demo upstairs runs that. The MP3 player runs native with the GUI, all the
Okay.
pieces. So tune in as a demo of it here.
Okay, thank you.
Just to answer the
Yeah.
question by the microphone for those who couldn't hear, the Tizen 2.1 does have hybrid application support, so you can have a web interface with your native code running. And it's described, there's some documentation in the help you can read about how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible with the minimal SDK because that's just the web tools, but maybe you know.
Minimal Web SDK has a command called the Web Hybrid app, but that one is not on Windows. It's on Linux and Mac. So I use a Windows machine. That's not good, but I know many people use the Mac and Linux. I just show you it works on Windows. It must work on Linux and Mac. Okay. Any other question? Okay. So well done. Thank you.